The story of Ford is not just about cars, but about a man who wanted to change the way people live and move, and who believed that every person should be able to own a car, not just the rich. This story begins with a man named Henry Ford, who was born in a small farm in Michigan and grew up working with simple tools, machines, and his own hands. From a young age, Henry Ford was very curious about how things work, and he spent many hours taking apart machines and putting them back together, trying to understand every small detail. While other people were happy with the way things were, Henry Ford always believed that machines could be better, faster, and easier to use. And this idea stayed with him for many years. As he grew older, he became more interested in engines and mechanical systems, and he started working with early gasoline engines, which were still new and not very common at that time. His dream was simple but powerful, because he wanted to build a car that normal people could afford, and not just a product for the rich and powerful. At that time, cars were very expensive, and only a small number of people could buy them, which made transportation difficult for most of the population. Henry Ford did not accept this reality, and he believed that if he could make production faster and cheaper, then more people could own cars. In 1903, he founded the Ford Motor Company, and this moment became the beginning of a new era in the automotive world. The early years of Ford were not easy, and the company faced many challenges, including financial problems and strong competition from other car makers. However, Henry Ford was not afraid of failure, and he continued to experiment with new ideas, always searching for better ways to build cars. One of the most important moments in Ford's history came in 1908, when the company introduced the Ford Model T, which would later become one of the most famous cars in the world. The Model T was simple, strong, and affordable, and it quickly became popular among people who had never owned a car before. But the real innovation was not just the car itself, but the way it was produced, because Henry Ford changed the entire system of manufacturing. He introduced the moving assembly line, which allowed workers to stay in one place while the car moved along the line, making the process much faster and more efficient. Before this system, building a car could take many hours, but with the assembly line, the time was reduced dramatically, which allowed Ford to produce more cars in less time. This new system also reduced costs, which meant that the price of the Model T could go down, making it affordable for millions of people. As production increased, Ford became one of the most powerful companies in the world, and the Model T changed the way people lived, worked, and traveled. For the first time, many families could travel long distances, explore new places, and connect with others in ways that were not possible before. Ford was not only changing the car industry, but also shaping modern society, because mobility became a normal part of everyday life. However, success also brought new challenges, and over time, customers began to want more variety, more comfort, and more modern designs. Other companies started to innovate, and Ford had to adapt to a changing market where competition was becoming stronger. In the following years, Ford expanded its product line and introduced new models, trying to keep up with customer expectations and new trends. The company also grew internationally, building factories in different countries and reaching new markets around the world. During difficult times, such as the Great Depression, Ford faced serious challenges, including declining sales and economic pressure. Despite these problems, the company survived by adapting and continuing to produce vehicles that people needed. During World War II, Ford shifted its production to support the war effort, building military vehicles and equipment. After the war, the company returned to civilian production and continued to grow in a rapidly changing world. In the 1950s and 1960s, Ford introduced new designs and more powerful cars, reflecting the spirit of innovation and progress of that era. One of the most iconic cars in Ford's history, the Ford Mustang, was introduced in 1964 and quickly became a symbol of freedom, performance, and style. The Mustang attracted a younger audience and created a new category of cars, showing that Ford could still innovate and lead the market. Over the years, Ford continued to develop new technologies, improve safety features, and respond to changing customer needs. The company faced ups and downs, including economic crises, changing fuel prices, and increasing global competition. However, Ford remained one of the most important players in the automotive industry, thanks to its strong history and ability to adapt. In recent years, the company is focused on new technologies such as electric vehicles, smart systems, and sustainable solutions. Ford is investing in the future, trying to create vehicles that are not only powerful, but also environmentally friendly. Today, Ford is more than just a car company because it represents innovation, resilience, and the idea that big changes can start with a simple vision. The story of Ford shows us that success does not come from avoiding failure, but from learning, improving, and continuing forward no matter the challenges. From a small farm in Michigan to a global industry leader, Ford's journey is a powerful example of how determination and smart thinking can change the world. And even today, that story is still being written as Ford continues to evolve and shape the future of transportation.